Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to the Knatters Knits podcast. This is episode 10. I've got to double figures, woohoo! And today is Sunday, the 8th of November 2015. It's outside very windy. There's hardly any leaves on the trees, thanks to the wind. And it's overcast, so I apologise again about the lighting. Hopefully, it'll improve from previous episodes, but we'll see what we see. So let's get on with it, shall we? First of all, welcome to anybody who's new to the podcast. Thanks for taking the time to drop in and say hi. Please do go onto the Ravelry boards, that's ravelry.com, and look for the Knatters Knits discussion boards there and say hi. I know 2 or 3 people have actually joined as members, but you haven't said hi to us yet, so I don't know really very much about you other than doing the old stalking routine and looking up on Ravelry. So it would be lovely if you came and said hi there. I'm doing a drawing for when we get to 100 members in the group, so do join, do say hi, and then the quicker you join, the quicker we've got a chance of actually making it to doing a draw for some more lovely wool. Right, so thank you to all of you who've come back again. I know I've had some really lovely feedback from you, and it's great. I'm really enjoying podcasting, so hi. I apologise if I'm a bit sleepy today. I went on my virtual knit night again last night and sat up till silly o'clock talking, but we had a great time. So that was the VKN, as it's called, the virtual knit night in the FO and Die group. But I'm thinking about starting my own VKN, maybe midweek. Let me know what you think about a Wednesday night. That's Wednesday night UK time, so it'll be Wednesday afternoon probably somewhere if you're in America or Canada. And what time you'd actually like that. So drop me a line on there and I'll put a thread in, tell me what you think. And if there's another time that would suit you better. And then perhaps we can all get together and do some knitting together. That'll be really nice. Okay, so what have I been doing this week? Well, you'll be pleased to hear I finished the socks. Yes, you can see them in all their bright glory there. They are that bright, if not brighter. They are made from some highlighter yarn, which is a superwash yarn, and they're made to fit me, so they won't fit anybody else probably because I've got quite small feet. Just basic 2x2 rib, basic stocking stitch all the way through, just because I didn't think these colours would actually take a pattern. But I don't tend to do pattern socks, I tend to stick with the plain, mainly because I hide them under boots and nobody sees them and it seems such a shame. But they are my highlighter socks. I'm thinking of keeping them for me, but if anybody's interested in buying them, let me know and I'll put them in the Etsy shop. It's up to you. They are very bright. So that's that. Down there. The next thing I've made, you won't have heard me talk about last week because I didn't even know about it last week. I went into the supermarket yesterday to do my shopping, and there was a copy of Simply Knitting magazine. Oops, wrong way. That's it, Simply Knitting magazine. And on the front of it was the kit to make this. It's a Noel Christmas decoration. I mislooked at it. I thought it was a bauble, but it's not. It's actually a piece of knitting. See all the mess at the back, and the nice at the front. Wrong way. There we go. And it's knit in the various different colours, and then do Swiss darning across the top. And as you can tell, I've never done Swiss darning before, so it's not brilliant, but that's that. I thought it was going to be a lot smaller, and I'm quite surprised. I mean, there's my hand, and it's just reachable, so it's quite a size. So I don't know how I'd hang that onto a Christmas tree, but that's that one. It took me an hour or two yesterday evening, and I was sitting talking on the knit night as well. So it's quite sweet. The colours are a bit more vibrant and bright than you can actually see them. I don't know if that's better or not. Yeah, that's more true. Yeah. So you could do anything you wanted. I just put the word Noel on and a few little bits and pieces, flurries of snow, because that's what they suggested. But you could Swiss darn anything on the front of it, really. So one little Christmas decoration. Talking of the knitting magazine, the Simply Knitting, one of the things I'd like to show you, I've fallen in love with, is a Rico design pattern called Mulled Wine. That poncho looks absolutely divine. It looks lovely and warm. And I'm thinking about doing that. It would cover my huge frame. So it just looks really trendy, really gorgeous. The only thing is it does call for 12 balls of super chunky, which is 80% acrylic and 20% alpaca. I was thinking about doing it in wool, but I think that would make it extremely heavy. So maybe I might buy the Rico design yarn. It's called Creative Twist. And you knit it on 10 and 12mm needles. I'm not sure. I do like the look of it though. That's mulled wine. And it does look rather nice. There were other things in the magazine as well, but I won't give you all the spoilers. So if you fancy a look, because there are some really nice patterns in here. Some lovely toys by Alan Dart. And the usual prize puzzles and Christmas drawers and... oh, I didn't see that before. Deck the halls. Rainbow Bright collection. Maybe I should have used my wool for that. Anyway, so that's Simply Knitting magazine for this month. So while we're talking about acquisitions, let me show you some of the things that I've got this week. I had a lovely yarn package turn up, and it's this one. Can you see the colours there? This is a really dark brown and grey in places, which perhaps it's not doing it justice. It's a bit better. And this is by Gothheart Creations. And as you can see, it's called Hedgehog Snuffles. There's a beautiful picture of a hedgehog in and autumn leaves. That this was actually as the inspiration. Well, that photograph was the inspiration, and this is what it came out of it. It's been dyed by Ellie. It's on her Gothrock base, which is 75% wool superwash and 25% nylon, so it would make wonderful socks or a shawl. I'm not sure what I'm going to make out of it yet, but I did love the colours so much. That red there is just gorgeous. There you go. So I like that very, very much. Not sure yet. Maybe a pair of socks for me. I don't know if you've ever noticed that I smell a lot of things, because sometimes, there isn't with this one, but sometimes you get a really sheepy smell off some wool, and that's what I'm doing. I was going for the sheepy smell, but it isn't there, which shows that Ellie's done a lot of prep to get that just right. It's really lovely. So another thing that I joined up for was a magic swap on the FO and Dye group, and you'll find that there's a lot of swaps, especially this time of year on Ravelry, where you can sign up and agree to swap with somebody else. Sometimes you're given a theme. This one was called Magic because of the time of year and witchcraft and Halloween and things like that, but it was also to do with Thanksgiving. And the deadline for sending parcels out and getting parcels was Thanksgiving in America. So I'd sent mine quite a few weeks ago, and the recipient has got theirs, and they've posted it on the Ravelry thread there. But mine came this week, that my parcel, from a lady called Sarah Gamson. So hi Sarah, if you're watching this. The idea was that you would look at things that were magic to put in there, and I'd put or fairies, or not fairies as in the modern version, but the more old-fashioned, sort of almost Irish Celtic sort of fairies. So one of the things I received were these mitts. I've put one on, possibly both of them on back to front, I'm not sure. But we've got this lovely design down here and here. Fit beautifully, as you can see, beautifully snug. Really like these, so thank you very much, Sarah, for those. I was supposed to be knitting myself some, I hadn't got round to it, so that's my fingerless gloves for this time. What else was there? There was a book, and it's called Lady Cottington's Pressed Fairy Book, so that was in there as well. And inside, you see, it looks as if she's actually squished fairies inside the book, and the whole story goes on about it's like a diary of a Victorian lady who catches fairies, with a little bit of risqueness at the back, but it is rather nice. So that's that one. There were sweets, but they're long gone. I can't think why. There was some really lovely tea as well, which was lemon and ginger, but unusually it also had manuka honey in it. And Sarah said in a letter that she put with it that there was, you know, ideal for this time of year, and she was right. It was absolutely gorgeous tea. She also made me this bag, which she designed herself, a little pouch bag. You can just about see the sparkles there. It is black, although the lighting here is spoiling it, but actually it means that you can actually see the design a bit better. Beautiful. Wooden button, and pulls out on the ribbon, and inside I've got two sorts of things. One is a set of runes following on the magic theme, and the nice thing about this is that Sarah's actually explained to me all about the runes. So there's one for happiness, one for a gift, strength, enlightenment, transformation and protection. So these are all the runes that she's made herself. And these are part of ancient British tradition. So there's 6 of those in all. So they live in my little pouch. She says the pouch she designed herself to hold the runes. Black is the colour to keep magical items in. The purple ribbon is for spirituality, wisdom and creativity, and the wooden button is for a natural touch that opens and closes the pouch. The maze, the fingerless mitts are called maze. She used felt fusion BFL Aran and a hand wash only and dry flat, or block if you block mitts. The other thing she sent me, lovely letter and explanations of everything. She obviously enjoyed doing it, and I've enjoyed receiving it very, very much. So again, thank you, Sarah. The other thing was she sent me some stitch markers. So there are some tiny little stars. Just about to see, apologies for my shaking. And there's several of those. Some I've got on a project at the moment, so I'll put those down. It's not one of them. Then there's a bigger double star, which has got like a little diamond on it. Can you see that? There. She sent me one that is the Tree of Life, and I used this last night on one of my projects. Lovely stitch mark. And she also sent me a pentacle, which is a progress keeper. And this is a sign of protection for witches. I'm not a witch that I know of, but we are, as I said last week, in an area where we have a lot of witchcraft from the Pendle witches, so that was really, really nice, and I thought rather apt. So I'll put those, whoops, I will put them all back later, they've just hit the floor. I'll leave them there so that they're protected. So thank you again, Sarah, for that. That was really lovely. I enjoyed that very much. I decided that I ought to get on and do another square, so I've done one out of the blue. Let's make it a little closer to the colour. It's more of a jadey blue actually, but this isn't showing it very well because of the light. It's a bit closer. Anyway, so that's another square I did during midnight last night. And the last couple of days I've spent waiting excitedly for a package by email that I'd signed up to from Curious Handmade. And this is like an advent calendar for knitters, really. You're not opening chocolate, but you're actually getting little prezzies in the way of patterns and goodies electronically. And this is by Curious Handmade, also known as Helen Stewart. And the first one, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, I suppose it is this one, the Wander Shawl. It is beautiful, and I was sat making it yesterday when I was at the Longridge Craft Fair and Food Fair. And the idea is that all round the bottom here is all beaded, and I think possibly is beaded all the way through the lighter section as well. You can just about see that. So I started it using some cotton. I thought it'd be different. I've got some really lovely soft cotton. So this is how far I've got. This is just yesterday. This is just the top. Obviously I've not got to the bit with all the beads yet. That's going to be entertaining. But I've never done this particular way of making these holes, the edge, before. So that was something new to me. Before I've only just ever done yarn overs and knit two togethers, but this is a slightly different. I won't give it away because obviously that's what I've paid for the pattern for. But I quite like this. It's very different. Lovely and soft. It's knitting up reasonably quickly. So I'm hoping, she says dropping everything, hoping to carry on with that this week. Now I've still got some little bits of coloured yarn left, like this. So I think I should probably use them up. They're not enough to do mini skeins for other people, but perhaps I ought to do another square or two using those. So I'll have a go at finishing those as well this week. What else have I been up to? Well, it's been a busy old week. During the week I've been at work 9 to 5. On Thursday it was the 5th of November, which reminds me I haven't turned my calendar over. It was the 5th of November, and in the UK we celebrate that as Bonfire Night or Guy Fawkes Night. Some of you will probably have heard of that. It's a very big tradition here in the UK. Always used to be bigger than Halloween, although they seem to be getting closer together now, and because of the American influence it seems to run into one long week instead. Bonfire Night is when we celebrate the attempted blowing up of the Houses of Parliament in 1605. Okay, it's a long time ago, but Guy Fawkes and his team of friends, I suppose, tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament. It was a Catholic-Protestant rivalry back in the day. But obviously it failed because the Houses of Parliament are still stood. But we celebrate it anyway by having more now organised firework displays, but we still have a lot of home ones. Particularly in the north of England we seem to do it. I don't know if they do in the south as much. So we lit a few fireworks at the old people's home on Thursday, and had them all sat indoors so that they could watch it. They had a lot of the traditional foods that we have, so things like parkin, which is like a gingerbread cake, sort of, but it's more sticky, more treacly. And what else did we have? Oh, they had a little bit of a tipple, so they all had sherry or whiskey and lemonade. And what else did they have? Cinder toffee and ordinary toffee. That's quite treacle toffee. It's quite traditional. We didn't give them too much because they just had their tea, so that's what they had. Then the next night, here as a family, my son and his friend let off a whole load of fireworks. And he feels at 25, I think he's very proud of the fact that he's now taken over as the man of the house doing that, and my husband takes a bit of a back seat, although he still worries a bit about the house burning down. So we did that, and all weekend we've had fireworks, because usually 5th of November is on a school night, so we do tend to run it into the weekend that's closest. So there have been a lot of bangs and whistles and crackles of fireworks everywhere, which has been good fun actually. It's been nice seeing. And it does bring back some lovely memories I've had of seeing fireworks in the past. One when I was working a very late shift up in the Lake District, and then driving back around midnight down the motorway, and all I could see were these fireworks everywhere. Absolutely glorious, really lovely. So that was that. Today I'm wearing a cowl. Was part of a two-part set, but I sold the hat yesterday at the Longridge Craft Fair, so I've just got the cowl left. So I decided it looked a bit sad on its own, so I would wear it. It's made out of Into the World fibre that I spun and designed this cowl for me. As you can tell, it was a gradient, going from light to dark or dark to light, whichever way you want to say it. And I also did the hat in a similar way, so the hat went from dark at the bottom all the way up to light at the top. And I don't know if you can see it very well, but there is an element of sparkle in it as well. Yeah, I think you can see that there. But this is really quite warm and toasty, which is nice because it is beginning to get a bit windy and a bit nippy out there, although it has been the most mild November that I think I can ever remember, apart from when I've lived abroad where it's been really, really hot. Usually by now I've got cardigans on in the house, and I'm wearing coats and hats and scarves and gloves outside, and I'm not yet. I'm still, as you can see, in three-quarter sleeve, long sleeve type tops. I'm not wearing anything really, really cold. It's very unusual for this country. Usually by now there's ice on the ground and it's cold. We've had a lot of rain this weekend, and the roads have been quite treacherous because of it. Not flooded, but bordering on it, and it has made the journey towards Longridge and back again quite hairy, really. So that's that. So from now on, it's the countdown to Christmas, I suppose. Have you got all your Christmas knitting done yet? Or do you even do Christmas knitting? I have never done it particularly. I've never felt to be, that I've had to be a slave to getting all those gifts done and prepared, partly because I'm not a hugely fast knitter. But I know quite a few people out there do. So is that something that you do? Perhaps you'd like to come chat about it in the thread. Or you put some of the pictures of some of the things you've been knitting. I mean, I could have a prize draw for that, couldn't I? Now there's a thought. If I do a thread in the Knatters Knits group for Christmas all the things, just post one picture per thing that you've done, and in one post, so you can have multiple posts. And just before Christmas, I'll not say exactly when yet because I haven't looked at the calendar, but I will do a drawing for the Christmas all the things. And what shall I give you as a prize? Well, I'm just looking at what's over there. There are so many things over there that I could give you. Something that's catching my eye at the moment is glittering at me. I think I might use that, but I'm not going to tell you just yet. You'll have to come back next week to see. This isn't a very long podcast, as usual. We're getting on to 24 minutes or so, so I'm going to wrap it up. I hope that you found it interesting. Do come along. I've either got information on my Instagram feed, I'm there as Knatters Knits, in my Ravelry feed, or www.knattersknits.blogspot.co.uk, where I put all the show notes. Send me an email to nattersknits@gmail.com, or just generally come along or Google me. You'll find stuff there, definitely. So thank you very much again for taking the time to watch. I hope you have a great, warm, safe week, and I shall see you again next week. I'm looking forward to hearing about all the things that you're getting ready for Christmas. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.